with yet another walleye recipe. B-Team Bob, as he is somewhat affectionately called, you've got a grilled walleye for us, don't you? With a little twist.
Yes, this is, you know, sometimes you get tired of just throwing the, you know, the fish in the deep fryer. So I've just been kind of, over the years, looked for different ways to go ahead and fix it. So this is what is a grilled walleye. It's not an original recipe, you know. In the list of the recipe that I put together, you know, there's a link. So I've kind of changed things a little bit to work things out, but it's really relatively simple. It's, you know, we've got our walleye already prepared, and this is just going to go on the grill and just be cooked. And then we have this little topping that goes on there, which consists of butter, chives, pecans, and we're going to toast those a bit in the oven, in the microwave, and just a little bit of orange juice. So pretty simple recipe. So now I'm just going to go ahead and throw these in the microwave real quickly.
So Bob, we just got those out of the microwave, basically about a minute. And what is that actually doing?
Well, it's kind of like a toasting of it. The one thing you notice is that if you, the aroma from the pecans before you put them in and after they, you know, so it kind of get a little bit of the taste of the pecan activated a little bit.
I can definitely smell it.
So all we're going to do is we need half of this for right now to go into this butter, which we got a stick of butter in there. Everything goes better with butter.
Okay.
And then the balance of these we'll put on after we take the fish off the grill. And we're also putting some chives in there. Now what's going to happen is that this is going to a mixture that will be spooned on the fish. So we'll put them on the grill, salt and pepper them, turn them over, salt and pepper them, and then once they get just about to being done, then we'll spoon this on there. One of the things that I found that works better is that, you need to get the butter melted, then it's fairly liquid in that form. So what I like to do is put it in either a refrigerator or freezer so that it kind of starts to harden back up, so that when you put it on, it just doesn't run off the fish real fast. So it will kind of take a little bit of time to kind of melt, so it stays on the fish, because you know, when it goes on the grill, what's happening is that, you know, it's this mixture that once it hits like the grill plates and stuff like that, kind of gives you a grill flavor that kind of permeates through there. But like I said, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for a few minutes, try and get it a little bit thicker so that it doesn't run off quickly.
Like fishing scent. It runs right off. You need a little jelly.
Well, call it what you may. But before I do that, I have to add the last ingredient.
Orange juice, huh? And what is the orange juice going to do for us here? A little tang?
I think that's something to do with the acid. I'm not sure, but I have not ever tried it without it. So now is not the time to experiment.
I agree. We're hungry.
So this is all set. I'm going to go cool this down, and then it's time to get the grill ready and get this other stuff ready to go.
All right, Bob, so we are ready to start grilling these walleyes, but you can't just throw them on there. We've got a few things we've got to do, right?
Right. So one of the first things I've done is we put foil on there. And I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray. I'm also going to spray the fish, so that trying not to get it to stick. Right now we're on high. We're going to turn that down so that things don't get too carried away, because fish like this will cook relatively quickly. So
extra virgin olive oil is what you're using for cooking spray.
Yep.
And we're going to hit the foil and the walleyes.
That's correct.
With that.
So I'm just going to go ahead
and that's also going to kind of help some of that stuff that we want to stick to it, like some salt and pepper I think you've got in there.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead
And how hot do we have this grill, or how hot should we have it?
I would say you're going to be around 350.
And we've selected, like we talked about in other videos, the pieces are all approximately the same thickness, and we've got them kind of cubed up so they cook evenly.
Okay, so now I'm going to give those a little bit of a spray on the top side. And then a little salt and pepper.
Just salt and pepper, nothing special?
Nope.
You don't want to overpower that walleye, right?
No, because it's going to get. We want the taste from the mixture of the pecans and the butter and the chives.
So what kind of, is that some Himalayan salt, or what do we got going on there? That looks a little special.
Himalayan pink salt. Pink for you.
Wow.
All right, now that we've got those on there, we're just going to close that, give it a few minutes, probably only about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll turn it over. Then we'll get ready to let it cook on that side, and then we'll start.
So fast forward here in a few minutes, when you look at that, what's going to determine if you give another minute or so, or if you need to flip it quick?
Well, really, you're looking at the color of the fish. You know, I might try and pry it open a little bit, just one of the pieces, just to see.
So it's kind of flaky almost?
Exactly. So that because it's going to still continue to cook after you put this on there. So you don't want it to be overcooked. So, you know, if there's
like
just a little bit of, you know, clarity to it, that's fine, because it's still going to cook once this is put on there.
And that definitely firmed up with just a few minutes in the refrigerator, that's for sure,
Yeah.
that butter.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that the temperature out here will get it a little softer, but I'm not worried about it right now, because I think the longer it stays on, the more it holds on, the better it is.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to check and see. I think we're just about ready to flip them over.
So that's that color difference you were talking about.
Yeah, you can see on around the edges, everything's starting to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and I've also turned the heat down just a little bit so that things don't get too carried away, because
Bob, I'd like carried away with you. So Bob, I mean, is this just regular pepper? Because you're such a dialed in guy. I feel like you have an opinion, because we've had people like, it had to have Hellman's mayonnaise, or you just salt and pepper?
well,
I mean, because you got pink salt, for God's sakes.
I don't know that there's anything other than Hellman's mayonnaise, is there?
Apparently not, according to some people.
Okay. No, it's a lot easier, I think, you know, just using the ground pepper the way it is. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and put some slits.
Oh, this is an insider tip. So what are we doing by putting the slits? You got the old Rapala knife digging in there.
Yeah.
What is this actually doing?
Well, what it's going to do, it's going to allow this butter mixture to drip down on the flavor bars, and in turn, you know, kind of return the kind of the grill flavor. So
Inside tip.
so by putting those holes in there, you know, like I said, it's going to drip down there. One thing about this whole thing is that, you know, it makes a little bit of a mess down in the grill, but you don't really have to worry about it. But after you're done, just grab this piece of aluminum foil, wrap it up, throw it in the trash, and you're done.
I know you don't like a mess, Bob.
So I'm going to close this for probably just about a minute or so, and then I'll be ready to start putting this topping on there.
So Bob, once we flipped them here, we're only doing a couple minutes because you still have some time they're going to be cooking as we put the little topping on, if you will.
That's right. So we, you know, 5 or 6 minutes on the other side. We're at like 2 or 3 minutes on this side, but once we put this on there, it's going to take another few minutes. So the stuff will definitely be done. So all I'm going to do now is, so I'm going to take this, and see, because the fact that it's a little on the thicker side, it's not going just to
Run off into the grill.
right, but it's going to run pretty quickly once we drop the lid, and it contains all that heat in there.
But that's going to allow it to soak up more in the fish like we already have over here.
Yeah, so you can kind of see that it's, you know, as it's melting and running down.
So again, that step of just a few minutes in the refrigerator to firm that up is a big deal.
Yes. You know what happens when butter hits that those hot flames down there? A little bit of flash going on there. So I'm going to get this on there. Turn this down just a little bit more. Close the top. Let that kind of, you know, there's going to be more smoke coming off of those flavor bars as the butter drips down there. So again, that's going to kind of, you know, permeate that fish a little bit. We don't want it too much, but just enough to you know, get that kind of smoke flavor in there. I got to check this just so that...
Ooh, that looks yummy.
Well, like I said, we're going to be taking off momentarily, but I said once you get that butter starts melting, hitting that flame, you know, things start really jumping. That about time we get some of this stuff off this fire, because you can see it's really hopping right now. So, ooh, one thing is be careful you don't get your hands too close
to that foil. We need to get you a bigger spatula, Bob. Whew. So Bob, we've got these off the grill. Is there anything you like to do letting them sit, or?
No, I mean, one thing is that for some reason when, you know, stuff coming off the grill, this cools down pretty quickly, so
okay.
You don't want to hold back. So the other part, with the recipe, half of the pecans they want, you know, they say to put on afterwards. So if we just go ahead and, if it were just me eating this, I could just use my paws, but.
You're very professional. I'm a little of a light nut guy.
Well, then we could give you a piece and not add any extra nuts to your situation.
That would be, but you can sprinkle on whatever you like there.
Right. I would be careful because it's going to be hot.
It's still pretty warm.
So be careful. That's why, just don't pick it up with your hands. That's why we'll use the fork to do this.
Well, we're not going to act like a caveman too. Now here is the ultimate. Bob, that's pretty good. I would love to tell you this is not good because you're on the B team, but if this wasn't good, you'd be in the C team. But this is really good.
There's something lower than the B team?
Much, much lower. Much lower. That's really good.
Well, like I said, that's a nice alternative to, you know, just throwing stuff in the deep fryer all the time. So,
grilled walleye, and obviously you could probably substitute some different types of things in there if you like something different. But some of those little tips in there for somebody that hasn't done this, or maybe doesn't know, are going to help them make sure that they don't waste their walleyes.